So I'm here waiting for my other half to finish doing horse riding, and I figured, you know what, I'll take a moment since I'm waiting here anyway. They're actually out in the field somewhere, so she's got a bit of a different lesson today, but I thought I'd take the time to talk about something and take the time to make another video for you guys. But what is it that I wanted to talk about today? I wanted to talk about becoming a pro at something and working towards a goal where you become the best version of yourself in a certain profession or a certain topic that you're doing. In my case, that would be art, but I have other things that I would love to become a pro at, like genuine pro. I think in terms of art, there's different ways of looking at it as a pro, and there's different ways of looking at a pro with anything, really. And like I mentioned, I'd love to become a pro at making these videos for you guys, and I'd like to become a pro at video editing, become a pro at art, anything I do, really. I want to be able to do it to the best of my ability. So, thus, this conversation about becoming a pro. Now, what is it that differentiates, like, the pros from the amateurs? Now, to be clear, my definition of a pro here is going to be someone who's just completely mastered something that they're doing. Because in the sense of becoming a professional artist, I feel like I've done that because I've already worked as an artist, as a job, professionally. That's the definition of a professional artist here. But I don't think I'm a pro artist yet, because I'm not at the level that I want to be at when it comes to the technical ability and the ability to really produce anything I imagine to a good enough standard for myself. So the whole, 10,000 hour thing, that's obviously a way of measuring professional people, professionalism. But in my case, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, when I talk about becoming a pro at something, I'm talking about being incredibly good at it and being incredibly technically skilled at that very thing. In this case, art. So what is it that separates these pros from amateurs? And I was listening to a podcast and he explained this very well. His name is Dry Creek Wrangler School. You can probably find him on YouTube. He's a very wise man and he has some very wise lessons. And I want to be clear that he said this message and it really struck home with me. But I'm going to take it here and apply it to an art setting, because he was talking about it in general for everything. I'm going to talk about it for art. But what he said is being a pro really depends on whether you've mastered the basics of something. That's the difference between a pro and an amateur. Because for me, at least, and I'm sure many other people have this problem, when you're looking for ways to improve, you look at the most complicated thing you can learn. This isn't a great example, but speed ramps and amazing animations and transitions in your videos. And you look for these things and you think they're going to make your video look professional, but they don't. And you wonder why. Because the reason why is simply because you haven't got the basics right. You haven't mastered how to set up your camera properly. You haven't mastered how to set up a composition properly. That's really what makes someone a pro. That's what makes them completely reliable to do a task, because they're going to do everything from the basics to the highest ability, and then that knowledge from all the basics is going to allow them to work on the more complicated things. But really, the pros just have it all mastered in their heads, all the basics. So reality in becoming a professional at something is going back to the basics, which is the message that Dwayne Noel from Dry Creek Wrangler School was saying. He said that going back to basics is the way to master it and the way to really become professional at something. And hearing that story really made me realize that I've just noticed that the whole car has gone like really. I'm gonna open the window a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Yeah. So yeah, sorry about that. Going back to all of those basics is what's really going to make you a pro, and mastering those things is what's going to make you the best at something. And the reason why it's never talked about everywhere is because it's not really as glamorous, right? It's not as glamorous for me to tell you go do all your fundamentals as it is to show you a technique on how to draw a face or an eye. The real basics is learning the fundamentals there and learning how to draw the eye many times. That's the truth. That's how you get there. So going back to basics and mastering them is what really makes you a professional. It's a bit of a short thing to tell you guys, but that's just really all I wanted to say for this, because I think it's a good message, and I'll have the actual podcast linked in the description because I want to give him credit. He's talks about some really good things, and I think applying something like that in life is wonderful. You know, when you're learning something and you want to be really good at it, do the basics of it. Do what needs to be done. Don't skip it. Just like I did with art for all these years, I skipped the fundamentals, and now I regret it. But that's why I've started this whole fundamental day video thing. It's because I want to get a grip on that, and I know that once I master all of those and I practice them enough, then I can call myself a professional artist. And I hope you guys do the same. Don't skip through those things. Really take the time to learn them and practice them as much as you can. And yeah, become great, become a professional through the tedious practice, through the constant practice. That's how you do it. That is the whole secret. There's no secret. That's it. It's just putting in the work, putting in the hours, and doing it consistently. That's all it takes. And yeah, I wanted to share this message with you guys, and I hope it's been helpful to you. I hope you'll be able to get something out of it. We've made the car steamy because I've been sitting in it and it's a bit warm, so I guess I'm sweating a little bit and it's causing the whole car to fog up. But I'm sure my second half will be back very soon and we'll be going off. And yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and that's it. See ya.